And once you start settling into whatever seat that you've decided to come to, or if you're lying down, or if you're doing some other position, you don't have to stay still. And actually, for this practice, since it's so short, if you want to start moving right away, that's totally up to you. If you want to take a moment or so to just start chilling in your position, that's fine too. So start picking your spot that you want to be in and start nestling in. So do the little wiggles and do the little movements it takes to feel like you are in a resting spot where you're starting to invoke some softness throughout your body. So you're starting to feel soft in the places maybe that you usually hold a little bit of tension. So if that's in the shoulders, or if that's somewhere else, like the neck or the hips, check in with those usual places to start. Check into all the spots that usually carry a little extra weight, a little gripping, and take a breath or two into those places. Let the belly be soft, let the jaw go slack. Maybe it even takes you a moment to like wipe your hand across your brow or to push into your cheeks or to put your hands on your belly, but find those spots that might be gripping a little and soften, soften, soften there. And start to notice your inhales and exhales as you're lying, sitting, whatever position you chose. And start to trace your inhales from your nostrils down your throat and into your chest. We're going to start there with our inhales and our exhales, just noticing the little tickle at our nose, the way it comes down the throat, and then wherever it goes in the chest. You can also notice it on its way out from your torso up the throat as it slips out of the nostrils. And you can stay there with that first image of your breath as it goes in the body. It's sort of a big picture. Or you can start layering a little more into your mindfulness. You can start noticing not only the nose and the throat, but maybe the upper part of your lungs. And then you'll start to notice how the lower part of your lungs also feel. And that's all the way around too. A nice juicy inhale can fill up from the front, the sides, the back. And we'll just be sitting another moment or two longer or lying another moment or two longer with that recognition of our inhales and our exhales. All the way from their top down to their bottom and then back out. I invite you to welcome the stillness a little bit longer as you continue to focus on your breath. But if you would like to start a little wiggle here and there, this is your mat, this is your practice. You can always shift or turn or Look with the head, wiggle fingers. Nice. These are all great, subtle ways to just organically start to shift. And if you haven't started to change your shape in any way or to move, to switch your position, then find a way here or there to start livening up a little. You can still stay connected to that breath, paying attention to those inhales and exhales as we move. Or we can set that aside as we move. Most of us are starting to shift into bigger areas of the body. So, rolling into shoulders or twisting into our spine, maybe choosing a different crossing of our legs, stretching legs out or tucking them in. Yes, I like all of these options. We're going to take just another moment or two here to move, to shift, to kind of get your grounding down with your body from your head to your toe. And then some of us are on our backs and some of us are in a seat. So if you are lying down, you're going to start to work your way upright. And if you're already in a seat, congratulations, you win. Nice. All right. You're going to bring your fingertips to your sides, so left and rights of your hips. And for some of you, it might be fingertips down. For some of you, it might be palms down if you have longer arms. And you're going to shift your weight into your right hand, and you're going to take a reach up with your left arm towards the sky. And it could be a real gentle reach where you're just sort of letting your arm cascade over you, bringing you a little side bend. Or it can be a real big reach, like something is just a millimeter away from your fingertips. So you decide on how deep that stretch for your side body is. And don't be afraid to move in the neck. You could shift the chin a little bit towards the ceiling or look down a little towards the floor. You can also decide to move the ribs a little if you want to jut the front of the ribs forward and out, or maybe around the back a little. And these are pretty subtle moves, but you'll find where you can kind of reach and stretch and kind of shift a little there as you're reaching to the side. Yeah. And then when you're ready, you're gonna come to your second side. So just bring your arm down, you'll shift your weight again, you'll find your groundings at the center. And then when you're ready, when you take your second reach, maybe this side's a little different. Maybe this side needs that drape, that kind of soft arc to the side, or maybe it needs that real big reach towards the ceiling, big arc to your side. One side of your back or hip or shoulder might need a little different treatment. Yeah, good. Yes. So moving into that head or the ribs, I'm already seeing some of you make those choices for your bodies. And then when you're ready, you'll bring that arm, it'll come down, it'll come to your side. And then you're going to take a swing towards your left and your right. So kind of like a little windmill as you're starting to gather up a little momentum into your twists. You can always switch the crossing of your legs or let the legs go long. Don't be afraid to move your position just because you're seated. And then the next time that your hands move off to your right, you're going to stick the landing with the fingers wherever they go. So you're going to stay in that right twist for a moment. And you have the choice of staying with that softness in your twist, just like you did with your shoulder, perhaps, or your side reach, or you can add a little depth to it. You can always take that left hand, take it to the knee, and give a little tug so that you can kind of leverage your way a little deeper. Or you can simply just stay with that first place that you landed. You can turn the neck left and right, maybe up and down. You can smile at your pet or smile at that loved one that's practicing with you. And eventually you'll start to unravel back to your center. You'll ground down again in the middle. And then you'll start to softly do that sway with the arms, twisting left and right. You can really let the hips play too. They don't have to be stationary. They don't have to be digging down into the mat. You can let them go as well. Yeah, like that. Good. And then same to our second side. So when you get over to that second side, you just kind of stick and land left twist. Maybe you just enjoy that soft moment. Maybe you stay there. Or maybe you decide to add a little bit more depth. You can grab the hand to the knee or the leg and twist a little more thoroughly over. And even if you get there, no one says you have to stay there. You can always go back to that soft twist if you want. And you can always move into that head and neck again, looking around or up and down softly in directions. And then out the way we came, a little gentle unravel back to center. Nice. Your palms are going to reach behind you now, sort of like two little kickstands, or maybe it's fingertips for you. And then at the center of your chest, you're going to take that point and you're going to lift it up towards the ceiling. And your choice, keep the chin tucked or let it drift upward. With each inhale, feel the front body expand a bit more. Get a little stretch for the ribs on the front side. And if your head happens to be really far back and your chin's really high upward, start to bring your chin down, and then everybody can round forward and take a little gentle forward fold. So you're simply going to let the arms straight forward. Nice, good. And whether your legs are crossed or whether they're long, you're going to come upright and then you're going to come onto hands and knees. So find your way onto your mat. If you want to pad the knees more, you can always grab something nearby, or you can fold the center of your mat over like a little ripple in the middle, and then that's extra padding for your knees too. Most of you have carpet in your room, which is always nice. Studios are always hardwood floors, and I have to wonder why. I love padding for my knees. All right, so once you're on your hand and knees, you're just gonna start wiggling and shifting and moving around. So that might be a forward and back shift. It could be side to side. You could be really circling into hips. You might be taking your lovely sweet time to start working a little into neck, shoulders, and bit by bit to your tailbone. Nice. And we're going to take a threading of the needle. So if you have any animals underneath you, you're going to inhale, reach the right arm up like an open twist. And then you're going to lace it under the left, and the back side's going to lay down, shoulder down to the mat. So you're taking your right palm, lacing under, and then setting shoulder down. Yep, there we go. Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. Yes. Stay with the softness, or again, your choice. Do you want to add a little bit of work? You could press the back sides of your right arm and palm into the mat. You could reach the left arm up overhead or towards the sky. You can shift the hips. You can decide to keep them a little bit more square, or they can twist with your spine. These are all little playful ways that you can work with your own vertebra from your tailbone to your top of your head. Take another sweet inhale and exhale. When you're ready, you'll start to unravel. You'll bring your palm back. And you might need a moment to shift in and out of a little cat and cow or a little wiggle here and there. But we're going to our second side whenever you're ready. So you'll take that reach open up towards the sky, left hand this time. And then it laces under the right. You set that shoulder down. Yeah. And even if you're working a little bit by pressing the arm into the ground or reaching your left arm in some way, you can still stay soft in the brow, soft in the cheeks, soft in the tongue. Take another inhale and exhale before you unravel. Coming back to your tabletop position. And then coming upright on the knees so that you can step the right knee forward, the right leg forward, and come into a low lunge. So that, yes, perfect. That left knee's down, right knee's forward. Yes, good. And once you get into that low lunge with your body upright, take a few rocks forward and back. So just say hello to that, that front of your left hip. You can use palms at your knee for extra support. If you want to have your palms down on your ground, framing your foot, that's fine too. You might be shifting forward and back or holding on one side or the other. If shifting forward and pausing feels nice, and then coming back upright. Nice. And then you're going to shift back upright and center. You're going to cross the palms behind the head. So you can either stack them or you can do a lace with the fingers. And then you decide how much you want to give into this little back bend. So if you want a little baby back bend, you can just simply reach the head back behind you and give a little arc to your upper ribs. If you want a bigger back bend, then maybe you reach a little bit further behind you. If you don't enjoy the back bend with the arms up, bring the arms down. Nice. You'll come back upright from your little juicy back bend. You'll take a moment, you'll plant the palms to frame the front foot, and then you can switch it out. So other knee comes forward. You're gonna take your other back bend, or excuse me, your other low lunge. And then do that same rocking forward and back. Starting to just recognize the hips a little. Make sure you feel cozy in the knees. Hands can be anywhere for support or free. Nice. If you've forgotten about your breath a little, maybe you just check in with it. Just notice it. Find the ins and outs. You're going to come upright from any of your wiggles if you're down low. And then when you bring your palms to your back of your head, bring the awkward lace. So whatever thumb normally is on top, probably your right one, flip it so your left one's on top. Or stack them differently, just to kind of bring a different feeling to your palms and to your shoulders. And then your second back bend can be just as baby and sweet like. You can just be simply cradling your head in your hands, or you can be taking a bigger reach behind you. Nice. Eventually, you'll bring yourself forward. The palms can frame the front foot. Nice. And then you'll come onto the belly. So you'll bring that foot back so you can lower on down. And I might lose some of you in your cameras, but that's okay. These aren't hugely complex cues. So with support of your palms on the ground, you're going to take your forehead and upper chest and slowly lift off the ground. So again, it's a little bit of a back bend, but now we're working some of those extensors behind us. Yes, good. And you decide how much support your hands and palms are going to give you on the floor. Do you want a lot of support where you're really pushing in to help you reach up? Or do you want to feel extra light in the palms and use a little bit more back muscle to pull yourself up? Yeah, nice. Some of you are staying upright in beautiful positions. Some of you are kind of raising up and lowering down. These are all great options. Wherever you're at, you're going to lower the front end back down to your mat. And then you're going to take a couple of long-legged lifts, like you're scissoring your legs one at a time, or you're pedaling as if you're swimming. So they're just kind of going up and down towards the sky, up and down towards the sky. You can let the left and right hips rock a little bit as you're doing it. You could plant them squarely and firmly into the floor. You could be moving your arms in some way or keeping them down on the mat with you. And for our last moments here on our belly, if there's a favorite way that you like to move on your belly, maybe you like to kind of Superman it where the arms come up and the legs come up, or you can alternate. Like a right arm comes up, left leg goes up. Yeah, that's also a really great option to have some grounding while also lifting and moving. You can take the lift and pause. You can be moving up and down. And then just another moment, we're gonna roll onto our backside. So if you're really just loving this belly work and it's feeling fantastic, then you can stay with it a bit longer. If you're like, nah, I'm ready to be on my back, that was nice. Then you can just take your time, however you want to get to your rollover. And then one of two ways that you might think of your last movements. If you want some more spinal twist today, you sat a lot and it might feel nice to really rotate that low back, then you might do your windshield wipers where the knees fall left and right together. If you maybe need a little stretch for the outer hip, then you can cross one ankle over to the other knee. That's also a great option for a little twist and a stretch. You can combine the two. Yeah, I already see some of you are like, yes, I know where she's going with this. It's so fantastic to see 10 bodies doing 10 different things. Depending on what you chose, you might need to switch. So a left or a right or right or left. If you've been doing something symmetrical like your windshield wipers, maybe you shift towards like a happy baby or just hugging the knees in and rolling around. And these may be your final moments of moving with this practice. Or as we start to move into our resting state, resting doesn't have to mean you're absolutely still. By resting, I mean that you're starting to turn off all of the outer noise around you, whether that's actual noise coming into the ears, if it's something happening in another room, if it's animals. Start to let your senses sort of dull to all of that around you. And then turn up your internal volume, right? Turn up that signal to your own body for a moment and let everything else fade away. And don't forget to send some love and gratitude that you took time out of your day. You could be doing so many other things. You could be piling on the activities, right? We all can do that. But you chose to take the time out to serve yourself because you ultimately know it's going to serve everyone else around you all the better. I thank you for your beautiful practices this evening. And I truly do hope that you lay and you rest for as long as you are able, as long as you wish. And stay with this gentle little energy flowing throughout for the rest of your evening. I'm signing off and you enjoy your moment.